They say obsession makes you better. They don't say what it does to your mind. Nina had always wanted perfection. Every plie, every pirouette, flawless, rehearsed to the point of blood. But now, as she stood on the edge of everything she'd ever worked for, she realized something terrifying. Perfection might cost her more than pain. The theater smelled of sweat, rosin, and desperation. The kind of place where dreams were forged and devoured. Nina stood at the bar, her hand trembling slightly as she stretched. Her spine was taut, rigid with expectation. She had waited for this moment her entire life. The announcement was today. The lead in Swan Lake. The dual role of Odette, the fragile White Swan, and Odile, her seductive twin, the Black Swan. As she moved through pliés and tendus, the voice of Thomas, the company's artistic director, echoed in her mind. "You embody the White Swan perfectly," he'd said. "But the Black Swan, she's passion. She's chaos. Do you have that in you, Nina?" She wasn't sure, but she needed to be. When Thomas entered the room, the energy shifted. Dancers sharpened their poses, backs lengthened like drawn bows. He scanned them all, then let his gaze rest on Nina. "Ladies," he said, pacing slowly, "our new season opens with Swan Lake. I've made my decision." A hush, hearts pounding. Nina will be our Swan Queen. The room burst into applause, but Nina barely registered it. Her chest fluttered with joy, yes, but also dread. She saw Lily, the new girl from San Francisco, watching her from across the studio, her eyes dark with an unreadable intensity. Nina gave a polite nod, but Lily just smiled. A strange smile, too casual, too knowing. Later, in the dressing room, Nina peeled off her leotard and traced the faint scratches on her back. Again, she had no memory of how she got them. Stress, she told herself. Overwork, nothing more. But they were deeper now. Redder, angry. Her mother, Erica, was waiting for her at home with a cake. "My sweet girl," she cooed, smoothing Nina's hair. "I always knew you'd be perfect." Nina forced a smile, her stomach tight. The apartment was too quiet, too pink, too filled with porcelain ballerinas, frozen in mid-pirouette, watching, judging. That night, sleep came late, as it often did. She twisted beneath her covers, haunted by the pressure of the role. In her dream, she stood center stage under a single spotlight, her tutu soaked in blood. The crowd clapped anyway. She woke gasping. Her reflection in the mirror across the room blinked a second too late. From the moment she was cast, something inside Nina shifted. Rehearsals grew longer, harsher. Every misstep was magnified. Every glance from Thomas carried the weight of unspoken judgment. She danced with the stiffness of someone gripping too tightly, trying to be perfect, but never free. Thomas noticed. "You're still holding back," he snapped one afternoon. "Odette is a prisoner of purity, yes, but Odile, she's lust, she's instinct. Seduce us." Nina stared at him, her body still and sweating. She felt eyes on her, from the other dancers, from Lily, always Lily. That smile again curved at the edges, like it knew something Nina didn't. Thomas called Lily forward. "Show her." Lily stepped into position with a confidence that oozed from her skin. She spun, leapt, and twisted in ways Nina couldn't replicate. Not because of skill, but because of abandon. Her movements were wild, sensual, careless in the most hypnotic way. Thomas watched Nina carefully. "Be her," he said. "Be free." But Nina didn't want to be Lily. She wanted to be herself, but better. Still, that night she found herself watching Lily, not just at rehearsal, but after. She followed her to a dive bar, a place pulsing with bass and bodies. Lily noticed, of course. She always noticed. "You stalking me now?" she asked with a grin. Nina froze, unsure how to answer. Lily laughed. "Relax. You need to loosen up anyway. You're wound tighter than a drum." Wondering turned into 2, then 3. Lily offered her something in a bathroom stall. Nina hesitated, then accepted. She wanted to feel different, braver. Something inside her begged to be released. That night was a blur. Flashes of lights, bodies, laughter. At one point, she thought she kissed Lily. At another, she was sure Lily whispered something into her ear, but she couldn't remember what. By morning, her memory was shredded, her body aching in unfamiliar ways. Back at the apartment, her mother screamed when she walked in. "Where were you? I called 100 times." She grabbed Nina's arm. "Look at you." Nina pulled away. Her skin was covered in scratches again, deeper this time. She didn't remember falling, didn't remember hurting herself, or anyone else. She locked herself in the bathroom and turned on the faucet. Steam fogged the mirror. When it cleared, she gasped. A shadow behind her. She spun around. Nothing. She turned back. Her reflection stared back at her. And then for a moment too long, it smirked. Only one of them did. She stepped back, trembling. Was she losing her mind? She told herself it was stress. The role, the pressure, that's all. But the hallucinations didn't stop. During rehearsal, she heard her name whispered from empty wings. In the dressing room, her reflection moved slightly out of sync. At night, she dreamed of feathers sprouting from her back. Black ones, not white. Then came the bleeding fingernail. She was undressing when she noticed it, her ring finger raw and red. She swore she hadn't touched it, but as she peeled off her tights, she felt something embedded in the waistband. Glass. A shard. Small. Deliberate. Her eyes darted around the room. The door was closed. She was alone. Unless she wasn't. Was someone trying to sabotage her? Or was she sabotaging herself? Lily came to her later, acting like nothing had happened. "You killed it today," she said. "I mean, almost. You're getting close." Nina forced a smile. "You should come out again. Get out of that creepy Barbie dream house you live in." Nina didn't laugh. Lily tilted her head. "You okay?" Nina nodded, but something inside her screamed. That night, she practiced alone. Over and over, she ran the final sequence, Odette's descent into madness. She felt the music swallow her whole. Her feet blistered, her vision blurred. But for the first time, she felt powerful. When she stopped, breathless, she looked into the mirror. She saw herself smiling, but her reflection wasn't breathing. And then, it blinked. Opening night arrived like a storm. The velvet curtains loomed high above Nina's head as the orchestra tuned in a low, growling hum. She stood backstage, her breath shallow, her chest pounding in sync with the timpani. Around her, The other dancers prepped, smiled, whispered words of encouragement, but it all blurred. They sounded distant, like voices through water. Her mother had tried to stop her from coming. "You're not ready," Erica said, blocking the door. "You haven't been sleeping. You're not well." Nina had stared at her, lips pressed into a thin, trembling line. "I have to do this." But even now, as she laced her shoes, doubt gnawed at her insides. Had she imagined the glass in her costume, the cuts, the moving reflection, or had someone actually done this to her? Lily, herself. Thomas had said, "Lose yourself in the role. Let go." She was ready to let go. But of what? The overture began. She stepped into the light, the spotlight cold and sharp. Her arms floated like silk. Her feet barely kissed the floor. In the first act, she was Odette, soft, mournful, restrained. The audience watched in rapt silence. Applause thundered as the curtain fell. In the wings, Thomas approached her. "Now the Black Swan. Give us the fire." Nina nodded. But something shifted. Her vision shimmered like heat waves over pavement. The stage didn't feel real. It felt like a dream. Her body no longer hurt. Her mind floated just above her head. The music for Odile began, darker, seducing. She danced. This wasn't Nina anymore. She was weightless, primal, dangerous. Her eyes gleamed, her lips curled. Every step was sharper, every turn bolder. The crowd gasped as she spun into a frenzy. Faster, freer. She could feel their eyes, their hunger. She gave them everything. When she finished, arms lifted in a final pose, the applause roared. Thomas stood frozen, lips parted in awe. She had become the Black Swan. Backstage, she stumbled into the dressing room, sweat soaking her. Her skin glistened, her eyes wild. She gripped the sink, panting. Her reflection stared back, smiling again, smug, proud. "You did it," it whispered. She blinked. The reflection moved its lips. But she hadn't spoken. Her heart seized. She backed away. Her spine hit the wall. The mirror didn't shatter. It rippled. She screamed a knock. "Lily." "Hey," Lily said gently. "That was insane. You were incredible." Nina's eyes darted. You set me up. The scratches, the glass. I know it was you." Lily frowned. "What are you talking about?" "Don't lie." Nina lunged forward, grabbing her. "You wanted the role. You wanted to destroy me." "Whoa, Nina, let go." They struggled, a blur of arms, of panic. Nina grabbed a shard from a shattered prop nearby. She didn't remember breaking it, but suddenly it was in her hand. Suddenly, Lily was bleeding, eyes wide with disbelief. Nina dropped the shard. Lily collapsed. Breathing hard, Nina staggered back. Her chest heaved. She turned to the mirror. Her reflection stared blankly, emotionless. Then smiled. The stage manager called her name. Final scene. She stumbled back on stage, dazed. The finale approached. Odette's suicide, the tragic fall. She danced like a ghost. The moment came. She ascended the platform, arms spread like wings. She looked to the rafters, to the blinding light. Then she fell. A perfect fall, choreographed, timed. The audience rose to their feet. The curtain closed. Thomas rushed backstage, beaming. "You were perfect," he whispered. Blood spread slowly across the tutu. Nina smiled, her voice soft, almost childlike. "I was perfect." Then her eyes fluttered shut. The body was found hours later. Lily was alive, confused, with no wounds at all. No blood, no fight. No one remembered Nina leaving the dressing room. No one saw her with a shard of glass. But the scratches were real. The injuries were real. The fall, fatal. Some swore they saw two Ninas in the wings that night, one in white, one in black. But only one took the final bow, and the other, she was never seen again.